Good morning, everyone. Neighborhood dogs are probably going to start barking any minute. Now, my camera never does this justice, but the sky was so orange and beautiful that I had to come out and get a quick video. So I can already see on my phone it's a lot less orangey looking through the camera than in real life, but oh my gosh, what a beautiful sunrise this morning. So I flip my view around. This camera captures even less of it. But I just wanted to say good morning, you guys, and I'm hungry this morning. So I think we're gonna go inside and those dogs, man. I think we're gonna go inside and cook some breakfast, you guys. Come cook with me. Good morning, everyone. Here I am in my kitchen, and this morning I did a little bit of a workout, and instead of my regular sprints, I actually did some jump rope sprints. So more to come on that in a future video, but at any rate, it's about 7 a.m. and I'm hungry. So if there's one thing I've learned on my carnivore way of eating, it's when I'm hungry, I'm going to go ahead and eat. And this morning, I'm sort of wanting something that I haven't had in a while. Well, yes, I've had variations on this theme. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got my bacon on my tray. It's just a baking sheet with some parchment paper. And I'm going to go ahead and bake this up at 375 degrees we'll start with 20 minutes, and then we'll check it and see if it needs any more time. Okay, so earlier my camera just mysteriously stopped recording. It does that sometimes. So just to reiterate, I did some jump rope sprints this morning for my workout, and I am hungry. I was sort of wanting a breakfast that I haven't had in a while, although I have had variations using these ingredients. I wanted just a straight up bacon and egg breakfast with one of my carnivore muffins. So I'm going to go ahead and make that for you guys, and I thought might as well set up my camera and invite you guys to cook along with me. So what I've just done is gotten those 7 pieces of bacon. Now that is sugar-free bacon. It is not my famous or infamous, I don't know if you guys are sick of hearing me talk about it, bacon ends and pieces. I do love those bacon ends and pieces. Those are at my grocery store all the time for $2.99 a pound, and those are great. If you haven't seen those, take a look around your grocery store or ask the butcher counter and see. But anyways, I had this sugar-free bacon frozen. Now, why 7 pieces? Because that's what was left in the package. I'm probably not going to eat all 7. I might eat 4 or 5 of those pieces of bacon. We'll see how that goes. The rest will go in the fridge for later. Maybe I'll use it on some burger patties or something like that a little bit later today. So anyways, I've got my bacon baking at 375 for 20 minutes, and that is just some sugar-free bacon from Sprouts. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is my eggs. So I don't always buy grass-finished beef. That does tend to get expensive, although my family is going in on a half grass-fed, grass-finished cow from a local rancher. And that's going to be a pretty good price. After all the fees of everything, it's going to be around $7 a pound, a little less, like $6 and some change a pound. But I do spend the money on quality eggs. So my eggs that I buy are definitely pasture-raised eggs. I did an interview. You can probably find that on my channel, but I did an interview with a pasture-raised egg farmer. And the difference between pasture-raised and the other, like organic or cage-free or whatever, is significant. And I know not everyone can afford that. And if all you can afford is the white eggs, the plain white, whatever, just eggs from the grocery store, by all means do that. But I do splurge and get the pasture-raised eggs. So I'm going to be doing 4 their organic, free-range, pasture-raised eggs. Now what I do is I have this handy bacon grease holder, and every time I make my bacon, I put the bacon grease in here. Now, I've been saving this up. I haven't been using it because I want to fry some of that delicious fried heart attack chicken in this bacon grease, but I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit. My container's getting full, you guys, and I do have chicken, but it's frozen right now. So look for that in another week or two. But yeah, this is getting pretty full. So I thought I'm going to cook my eggs in a little bacon grease today. So I save it in this container. It sits on my counter and it's there for whenever. Okay, so as you can maybe see, can you guys see? Ooh, it's getting very full. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of this. I'm just going to take the spatula that I'm going to use to flip my eggs and just grab some of this out of there. Right? Like about that much. I don't know. What is that? A tablespoon? I don't measure, you guys. I am not a cook or a chef. I don't think I've said that in a while. I'm not a cook or a chef. But I'm going to put this bacon grease into this pan. And you guys, I'm being a little lazy today. I didn't really feel like getting my cast iron, doing all that with the cast iron. So this is a ceramic. It's a ceramic coated pan that I'm using. It's not like a regular nonstick. When I do my eggs, I like to do them low and slow. So I'm actually turning this. I turned on the fire and I like to do my eggs low and slow. So I turn that all the way down to 2, like my stove goes by numbers or whatever. So the lowest, it literally says low and then it counts 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then high. So I put that on 2, so very low. And I'm just going to let this bacon grease get all melty. And once it does, I'm going to crack my 4 eggs into here and I'm going to attempt to not break any yolks because I do like those eggs over easy, which is where we have a nice, like I like the white cooked all the way through, but I like the yolk to stay nice and runny. Now, you guys, I have literally never once Googled how to cook an over easy egg. So Google it because I'm probably doing it wrong. But the way that I do this, it makes the eggs yummy and they turn out the way that I like them. So since the bacon has got another 13 minutes, this is going to kind of work out perfectly because I like to cook those eggs low and slow to get the white cooked through, but keeping the yolk nice and runny. I do like to sort of dip my bacon in that yolk because who doesn't love that? Oh, I mean, I guess some people don't, but I love it. I think that it is super delicious. Okay, so the bacon grease is, I don't know if you can, I never know where the camera is, but hopefully you can see that starting to melt. It's almost there. And spread it around the pan a little bit. Okay, so my bacon grease is all nice and melty. I sort of like to lift up the pan and swirl it around a little bit. I'd bring the camera over, but there's really nothing to see. It's like, you know, melted hot bacon grease. So I've got 4 of those pasture-raised eggs that I was talking about. I'm just going to gently crack them into this pan and hope I don't break a yolk. I never break a yolk, and then when I'm on camera, I break one. Like, it usually happens. So let's give this a try. Fingers crossed. One. 2, no broken yolks yet. 3. Woohoo! And 4. No broken yolks. Let me rinse my hands and then I'll bring you guys over so you can see what they look like inside the pan. Okay, that is what they look like inside the pan. As you can see, the whites are running together. I am not fancy, you guys. These are not going to be pretty. They're not going to be perfect circles when they're done. Okay, so since I am not fancy, I don't even have those little rings. I know they have those little rings you can put like inside the pan and crack the egg into that keeps them all like perfect and pretty and circular. And I'm looking down because Pixel has found something and she's playing with it. So she's entertaining me over there while I'm trying to do a cooking video. Thanks, Pixel. I appreciate it. Okay, sorry. So, yeah, my eggs are not going to be perfect. I just kind of take a spatula and like slice between the whites. I'll show you guys that when it gets to that point. As I can see, you can't see, but I'll come show you. The whites are starting to turn white now. So again, just low and slow. Just let these whites cook through. I do not like a slimy egg white, not at all. So, as you can see, there we go. The whites are starting to whiten up. And I'm going to see if I can get Pixel at all on camera, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there she is. Of course, as soon as I get her on camera, do you think she plays? No. Let's see if she'll do it. What did you find, kitty? Oh, yeah. Hi, guys. I'm not going to play, but I'm going to come say hello. There you have it. You got your little bit of Pixel action for the day. At least she came over and said hello, and she did make a cute little chirping noise. I don't know if you could hear that. She is so much more active and happy now on her little kitty carnivore diet that she eats. It's mostly seafood. Oh my gosh, you guys, she's playing again. Seriously, I just got my camera set back up and she's over there chasing around a little piece of, what it is my son for FFA, they made like Christmas decorations, like a centerpiece with some like evergreen and some daisies and some pine cones and things, and a little piece of the evergreen, like it's kind of dead now. So it's on the floor and she's like batting it around and just having a good time. So yeah, I wish I could show you, but in true cat fashion, she's not going to cooperate with me. At least she came over and said hello. Okay, so those just have like another minute to go. They're not pretty, I know, but they're going to taste delicious, at least to me. And you might be wondering why I'm not salting these. Here's why. I mean, salt them if you want, but my bacon is going to be very salty. And the carnivore muffin, which I'm about to make, is also a bit on the salty side. So for me, with the combination of the bacon salt and the muffin salt, I don't put extra salt on the eggs. So I'm going to turn this fire off at this point because I don't want to overdo the eggs. And I'm going to start, there's about 4 minutes left on my bacon. So this is a good time to start the carnivore muffin. This is a muffin that I just do in the microwave. And yeah, somebody asked about the oven. I have no idea because I've never done it in a regular oven. If somebody tries it, let me know. Let me know how long it takes to bake up in the oven. I have used this recipe on top of a meatloaf that I did. Like I did a meatloaf in my cast iron pan, and then I made a couple of batches of this muffin, put it on top of the meatloaf, and it made like a breading on top of the meatloaf. That was pretty good. And I did do that in the oven, but that was like flatter. It wasn't a muffin shape. It was combined with meat. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. Go find that recipe if you want to check that out. But for the carnivore muffin, I just use like a Pyrex cup like this. I have a smaller one. That one works too. It doesn't have to be any particular size. I wouldn't go any bigger than this because, you know, like the big ones around, you're trying to get like a little muffin shape out of it. So this is a good size, or the 1 cup Pyrex cup that I have is a good size. And this is the one time in my life that I do use unsalted butter. I found that if I use salted butter, the dang thing gets too salty personally for me. So I'm going to get 1 tablespoon, about, I don't know, I don't measure. Okay. About a tablespoon of the unsalted butter. And I'm going to just put that in the microwave until it melts because you need this butter to be melted. Okay, 1 tablespoon of melted unsalted butter. Now to that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of the pork rind crumbs. I like to use the Porking Good pork rind crumbs. And for this muffin, I do use the ranch seasoned. So they are seasoned and they are ranch seasoned. I find that that seasoning gives it a nice little flavor. They do make totally like original flavor ones, which wouldn't have the ranch twist. They also make totally unseasoned. So if you just don't do any seasoning but salt or whatever you do, they do make unseasoned. And I like these because they are super, super finely ground. So I don't know if I can show you that. It's kind of maybe hard to see the consistency, but they're super finely ground, which, you know, I don't really have a blender that works. So, you know, if I did, I could probably do my own, but I'm going to measure out a teaspoon. It reminds me of that like kinetic sand stuff. If you have little kids, I don't know if you can see that. It reminds me of that kinetic sand that my kids used to play with. It reminds me a little bit of like if you, back in the day when you used to eat sugar, if you ever did like a recipe with brown sugar, because it kind of compresses. And so I kind of press the tablespoon into the side of the container. Ooh, that timer means it's time to check my bacon. Sweet. All right. So there's my 3 tablespoons. Again, it's not precise. Look, that one's a little heaping. I'm not worried about it. So 3 tablespoons of the Pork and Good ranch seasoned pork rind crumbs. Link below if you want to order those. And before I continue on with that muffin, I'm going to check my bacon, guys. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's ready to come out. So I'm going to take that out. The bacon grease container is going to get added to. So even though I use some bacon grease for my eggs, I'm going to add to the bacon grease. So what I do is I like the parchment paper in here. It just makes it super easy. And you just pour it right in. Okay. I guess I can turn my oven off. The nice thing about this bacon grease holder thing is that there's a little strainer, like a built-in strainer, like a metal strainer with little tiny holes. So it strains out all the stuff. And then I just kind of wipe that down, but I'll do it once it cools off. You guys, I just have to finish my muffin and then it'll be time to eat. I'm so hungry this morning. So again, to review, sorry, I got distracted by bacon. I get that, like bacon probably distracts you too sometimes. So I got the tablespoon of melted butter. I got the 3 tablespoons of the Pork and Good ranch seasoned crumbs. And I'm going to put 1 egg. This one, you get to break the yolk. And baking powder, it's going to be 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay, 1/8 of a teaspoon. In it goes. Now, I have this little whisk. You don't have to use a whisk. You could use a fork. I just have this little whisk that I like a lot. It's old. I think it's Pampered Chef, but don't quote me. I don't know. I didn't buy it for myself. I think it was a gift. I don't know. Anyways, you whisk all of that together. So, whisk, whisk, whisk. And one of the things the baking powder wants to do kind of is like clump a little bit. So just try to get the clumps out and get everything kind of well incorporated. You don't want to overmix. So just enough to get the clumps out, like I said. Okay, and then you don't want to overmix. The baking powder will activate as soon as it gets wet, and then it just has like a limited time where it's doing its thing and making those bubbles. So this is what that looks like in the measuring cup. My lines are kind of coming off. It makes about a half a cup-ish of that batter. And then you're just going to take that, put it in the microwave for 90 seconds. And let the magic happen. Oh my gosh, you guys, I haven't made one of these in probably about a month. It smells so good. So I don't know if you can see because it's steamy and stuff still, but what happens is the middle kind of rises and it does take on a little muffiny shape. The texture of these reminds me, although it doesn't taste like this, but the texture of this reminds me of like a corn muffin. But the flavor is obviously different because it's like the ranch seasoning in there. But then because of all the butter and stuff, it doesn't really stick to the sides. And what I have is I use this knife to get that butter out. And that is my regular Kerrygold salted butter on my plate over there because I put some salted butter on this. But you can just take the knife, kind of easily run it around. Okay, so it just pops right out of there and makes like this little muffin. And Okay, let me move to that side. So onto my plate goes my eggs. And I'm gonna grab a couple slices of this bacon. Okay, so there we go. I got 3 slices of bacon. I got 4 eggs. I got my little muffin with my butter. And we're going to give this a try. So, you guys, I'm always doing this one-handed. It's so weird. Okay, I'm going to put some butter on top of here so it kind of melts, hopefully. And it won't just keep rolling off the side. And I'm a weirdo because I use a spoon to eat my eggs. The reason why I use a spoon to eat my eggs is I like to get the runny yolk, and the spoon helps me to get all of that runny yolk. So this yolk is not as runny as usual, but you can kind of see it's a little runny. This is maybe more like an over medium. I think because I left them in the pan. I left them in the pan because I was cooking for you guys instead of putting them right on the plate. But they're still good. I still got some runniness in there. I've discovered, you guys, that Pixel likes the runny yolk. So there you go. I might give her this plate to lick. Stay tuned for that. We'll see if she does. So the bacon is nice and crispy. It's like just the way I like it. I'm going to dip it into that runny yolk, and it keeps breaking because it's so crispy, but that's okay. Yep. You guys, that hits the spot. Can you hear Pixel? She's over there playing. Okay, and the muffin. So good. This is a breakfast that I used to eat regularly when I first started carnivore. I just haven't had it in a while, and I don't know why, because it's downright delicious. If you guys try this, especially the muffin, let me know in the comments below how you like it, because I think it's delicious and it's a great way to start your day, especially after doing some jump rope sprints, which is what I did this morning. So it's time for me to go and meet some wellness, one bacon, egg, and pork rind muffin carnivore breakfast at a time. Have a great day, you guys. Okay, I left some egg yolk on my plate. We'll see if Pixel likes it. Let's see if I can call her over. Pixel, come here. Kiki kitty. Come on. She's coming, guys. Let's see what she thinks. She's not down for the more solid egg yolk, you guys. Oh. I spoke too soon. I think she likes it. Pixel approved.